The world of MMA fighting is far from a safe place. MMA was born as a no-holds-barred fighting, where it didn't matter if you punched, kicked, threw, or strangled your opponent. In the world of MMA, especially in the early days, anything was fair game if you wanted to win. MMA, however, was also instrumental in answering an important question. Which martial art was the most effective and the most dangerous? As the game of MMA became less dangerous and more organized, a lot of martial arts and fighting styles were either banned outright or nerfed. For today's video, we're looking at some of the most dangerous and deadliest martial arts that are not allowed in MMA. Before we get to the meat of the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos on the coolest sports content.
Okay. A little bit dangerous there. Right, Eugene? Very well. In fact, it's like, whoops, don't get it. Here's my son.
Now you may be thinking to yourself, Judo isn't banned from MMA. The reason no one uses Judo in MMA is that it's a weak martial art, or Judo is just not as dangerous as other MMA fighting styles. Well, we're gonna tell you that's not exactly the case actually. First, some background in case you somehow don't know what Judo is. Judo is a fighting style that originated in Japan that is centuries old. And believe it or not, just because Judo is super old, it doesn't mean it's ineffective as a fighting style. The thing with Judo is, MMA and its rules extremely limit its effectiveness in the ring. First, one of the main reasons Judo is ineffective in MMA compared to Judo in a practical self-defense fight is, Judo is heavily reliant on using clothes as leverage. In MMA, no one is wearing G's and shorts to grab onto. Judo becomes infinitely harder if you don't have clothes to grip onto, while if you had a Judo grip on your clothes in real life, there's a good chance you're not getting thrown down. Second, and probably the biggest reason why Judo is ineffective in MMA is that the ring in MMA, whether it's the UFC octagon or some other arena, is lined with a floor full of padding. Compare getting Judo thrown onto a padded floor, which is still probably gonna hurt, but is leagues better and less painful than getting a full force to throw onto the cold hard concrete of a street. MMA may have tricked you into thinking Judo is soft and weak compared to other fighting styles, but in reality, if you ever pick a street fight against someone, you better hope he does not know Judo.
You're just gonna turn, keep your body centered.
Jeet Kune Do may sound like a completely foreign fighting style to you if you don't follow many martial arts. But if you're a fan of old-school martial arts movies, then Jeet Kune Do should be a fighting style you're familiar with. Jeet Kune Do was pioneered by the late great martial artist Bruce Lee. To explain Jeet Kune Do, think of traditional Kung Fu, adapted to be much more practical for street fights. If you're familiar with Bruce Lee, you would know that Bruce Lee fought in a way that was a lot more fast-paced than traditional Kung Fu. Bruce Lee is often considered the godfather of modern-day mixed martial arts because of how he made more traditional martial arts more practical for modern-day fighting. Now, there are a multitude of reasons why Jeet Kune Do is not allowed in MMA. The main one was that Jeet Kune Do was a style that was heavily reliant on weapons. I don't think I need to remind you of this if you know anything about MMA, but just to be clear, you're not allowed to bring sticks, stones, and whatever to an MMA fight. Besides the use of weapons, Jeet Kune Do also was born as a self-defense martial art, so a lot of the moves that are part of its style, such as eye gouging, are big no-nos in MMA. So Jeet Kune Do in some forms is allowed in MMA, and if you want proof that Jeet Kune Do is effective, I can give you the best example of Jeet Kune Do being effective in MMA.
Gustafsson missed with the uppercut.
A little hesitant about getting clinched with.
Oh, big elbow! The Karate Kid pushes forward.
Yep, if you want an example of Jeet Kune Do dominance, then you can watch Jon Jones, as Jon Jones has become one of the most infamous Jeet Kune Do practitioners who is able to adapt the philosophy of Jeet Kune Do to the octagon. So while a lot of Jeet Kune Do technique is banned, its core style and philosophy are still highly effective in MMA, and definitely even more dangerous outside of MMA.
You see?
Vale Tudo is actually a Brazilian martial art, and I need no further proof it's a dangerous martial art than translating that Vale Tudo stands for anything goes or no holds barred. Vale Tudo is literally a martial art whose core philosophy is to do what you must to win.
Oh, that is
Beautiful shot by our goal.
that was a monster.
Escape!
No need for a long explanation of why Vale Tudu is illegal in MMA. Vale Tudu is literally a martial art that's based on going for the groin, clawing around the eyes, and just generally fighting dirty. So I don't think we're seeing any Vale Tudu techniques in sanctioned MMA fights anytime soon.
Recovery, go long. Over, down, hit.
Kenpo is in the same vein as other Japanese martial arts, full of vicious but speedy kicks and strikes. The style of MMA usually massively hinders karate fighters who fight in a hyper-aggressive style with a focus on offense rather than defense. Kenpo is a style that just does not work for MMA, even though in real life, a Kenpo master could probably gravely wound you in seconds. Kenpo is a style for self-defense, and like many self-defense martial arts, the main purpose of Kenpo is to counteract a potentially life-threatening attack with your own brand of vicious attacks. Kenpo is full of throat attacks and eye pokes, which are, of course, banned in MMA. Kenpo is also full of attacks that are finishers on downed opponents, and while the MMA allows ground and pound stand fights, mounted punches are a lot safer compared to throat-kicking Kenpo teaches. So if you have plans to become a professional MMA fighter, we recommend you take bits and pieces from Kenpo, but not the discipline as a whole. But if you want a martial art that'll keep you safe and will make sure people think twice before messing with you, we recommend Kenpo.
Man, I don't want any trouble, man. Elbow to the face. Turn around. Point of reference. Elbow, knees.
If you know anything about MMA and know anything about dangerous martial arts, you know Krav Maga. Originally developed by the Israeli military, Krav Maga is literally the combat training to teach soldiers and military all over the world. Krav Maga is a brutal martial art that is meant to end fights quickly and convincingly with swift, debilitating attacks. Krav Maga is full of attacks that go for the groin, neck, eyes, and every other vital spot. Krav Maga also focuses on swift attacks that are just not allowed in safe-sanctioned MMA. Krav Maga is banned for a reason. MMA is meant to be an entertaining but safe bout of two warriors duking it out, while Krav Maga is a fighting style all about ending fights swiftly in a not-so-pretty way. And that's all for today's video. What's a martial art you wish more people used in MMA and why? Write your answers down in the comments, and while you're at it, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications on the newest videos on the best sports content.
You okay? All right, good.